Everyone, going to show everyone a quick tutorial on Photoshop. Now there's a lot of tutorials online for Photoshop. A lot of them go really in depth, they're really long. This is the fundamentals of it, it's the basics of the basics. I'm going to take you through it as quickly as I can. Now if you need to, you could always rewind the video and watch again. Jumping right in, this is Photoshop. Now there's a lot of different versions of Photoshop, and different versions can do different things. However, the premise of it all is basically the same. Now, having said that, I'm going to start with this guy right here. This is a guy with a Pikachu Pokemon in his hands, in his arms or whatever. So a lot of people want to know, how do you take out a background of a photo? That's really simple. Now on the left side here are my tools. As you can see, about halfway down there's this tool right here. I'm going to hold down and it's going to give me more options. I can select the eraser tool, the background eraser tool, or the magic eraser tool. I use the magic eraser tool. The background eraser tool doesn't always do a good job in my opinion, so let's use the magic eraser tool. Now one thing you're going to have to know is tolerance. Tolerance is basically the strength of the tool, the magic eraser tool. Now I have the tolerance set here at 10. The tolerance is right here. Put it at 10, and I'm just going to click on the blue. I'm going to take out the blue background here. So I'm going to click anywhere where there's blue, and it does that. That doesn't look very good. It's not what we want. Now the reason why it's like that is because the tolerance is low. So I'm going to undo that, and to undo you can just select step backward, or you can just on PC press Control Z. So I'm going to raise the tolerance now to 30. We're going to try it again. Okay, that looks pretty good. As you can see, it's not perfect because there's this and there's this. So that's okay, we'll go in there later and take it out. So I'm going to click over here now, and the same kind of deal. It's not perfect. So that looks pretty good. It's not perfect. So what I would do in this situation, I would go back here to the eraser tool and hold down on it and select the eraser tool. Now the size can be changed right here, how big your brush is or eraser. So I'm just going to go and just manually erase all this. Now you know it's transparent because of the checkered background. So that looks pretty good. It's not perfect. Now, a lot of people would be happy with this. I am not happy with it because it's no way near ready. So if you were to zoom all the way in, you could see the edges are pretty rough and there's some blue here. So what I would do in that situation, I go back here to the eraser tool and I'd make my brush real small, and then I would just outline the entire photo and just make it a little more smooth. Just take a little bit off the top. So taking off some of this blue on the Pikachu here. Oh, my mistake. You get the idea. So that's that. I would go all the way around everything to take off a little bit off the top until it is actually perfect. And then once I'm ready to save this photograph, now to have a transparent background, it absolutely has to be in the PNG format, save as. Now under format you would choose PNG. If you chose JPEG or BMP or anything else, it will not be transparent. It has to be a PNG. So you would save it, and it would save it with no background. That's that. So moving on, again, I told you I was going to be really quick. If you need to know more about that or need more practice, just rewind the video and watch it again. So moving along, let's talk about layers. Layers are really simple, and a lot of people think that it's hard to do layers. It's not. So I'm going to take this PNG file of Steve Harvey. It's just his face or his head, and it's a transparent background. So I'm just going to drag it over this photo, and look, there it is. Reason why it's so small is because the picture of this guy is a big picture and Steve Harvey's is a small picture. So I'm just going to make it bigger. Make it bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this horizontal. Now, with the layers here, I'm going to have to place the file. Say place the file. And what I did was I just clicked anywhere on the tools, anything on the tools, and it says, do you want to place the file? Let's place it. Now you can see the guy in the back, his head in the back. So let's say I wanted to take that out. So over in layers, it's a hierarchy. Now anything on the hierarchy that's on top shows on top of the layer beneath it. So if I were to drag this on top, he would be in front and Steve Harvey would be in the back. So I don't want that. So I'm going to put Steve Harvey here, and I'm going to click this eyeball to make it hidden. So what I would do now is I would select the layer of the part I want to erase, use the eraser tool, make the brush a little bigger, and I would just take him out. Just take him out of there. Now, if I had Steve Harvey, his layer selected, and I tried to take out this guy's face, it wouldn't take it out because I have Steve's layer selected. It would take out Steve. You see? It all depends on what layer you have selected. So that's great and all, but what if we want to take Steve's face and put it on this guy, you know, with the hair and everything? So that's real simple as well. So I'm going to choose Steve's layer, and I'm going to go over here to the left of my tools and select the lasso tool. And I'm just going to lasso the part that I want. And it can go outside because Steve's layer is selected. It's not going to pick up the guy's face behind it. So Steve's layer is selected, and that's the only part we want. So I'm going to Control C, or you can do copy right here. And then I like to just delete it. Oops. I like to delete the whole layer. And I'll just paste it. And to paste it, just edit, paste. And look, there's Steve's face. So I'm going to click the move tool, the top one on the left. And I'm going to move Steve into place. Now, it doesn't fit right. That's okay. I'm going to come over to edit and go to free transform, and then I can move it however I want. Now you can see that it still doesn't look right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase some of Steve. So the Steve, his face layer is selected, and I'm going to hold down this eraser tool and select the eraser tool and zoom in. Just going to erase a little bit, you know, whatever, just a little bit. Now you're going to tell yourself, man, that looks really crappy. Yeah, it does. So what we're going to do to kind of like make this a smoother transition, on the left there's a tool here called a smudge tool. You have blur, sharpen, and smudge. I'm going to use this smudge tool, and I'm just going to like kind of smudge it a little bit to just not make it so rough. Oops. So I'm going to make this brush a little bit bigger. Yeah, you don't want to go crazy with this, but whatever. So now it's not so rough. Now it's a little bit more blurred. So it still doesn't look right. So obviously the color of Steve's face and the color of the man are different. So I'm going to go up here. Now there's two ways you can change the color. Under image, you can go to adjustments, and there's a whole bunch of different options you can do. You can do brightness and contrast. You can do hue and saturation, or you can even do curves. I like curves. When there's a big difference like this, I'll use curves, and I'll just kind of mess with it a little bit. You know, it takes some toying around and some practice, but you can get it looking really good. I'll hit OK, And then I'll go in and, I don't know, I use hue saturation and try to match the skin color as much as I can. Let's see here. And maybe I need a little bit more smudge. Oops. So you can see it looks much better. This is not perfect, but I'm just trying to show you real quick. It's not perfect, but it sure looks better than what it did. So if you zoom out, you know, there's Steve. You know, Steve's face is on this guy's body. That's pretty much layers. And you also learned how to do the color and also to smudge the edges to make it not look so rough. Let's see what else. Okay, let's open this picture of Bill. And what we want to do is we want to take out Bill's head, and then we can just kind of like transfer it over to that other photograph right here. And actually we can delete the layer of Steve Harvey, and we're going to try this with Bill. So we had opened the file in Photoshop. I right clicked, it said open with Photoshop. So I'm going to zoom in. Now I don't want anything else. I don't care about transparency or whatever. I just want Bill's head. So I'm going to go to the eraser tool and I'm going to manually take out Bill's head. Not going to be pretty. I'm just going for speed here. So as you can see, it's not checkerboard, it's white. Why is that? Well, let's figure it out. We need to get it the checkerboard. So what I like to do is a really quick workaround. I'll go to the magic eraser tool and I'll select something that I don't want to keep. Like for example, his jacket is it's not anywhere near the color of Bill's face and head. So I'm going to click that and it's going to take a lot of that out. Now Photoshop is designed to take out with the checkerboard versus it was just white a moment ago. So I'll go back to the eraser tool and zoom in, and I'll just manually take Bill's face out. Yeah. Remember, I mean, I'm going for speed here, trying to show you guys. If you take your time, you can make these look really nice. So I'm just going for speed. Just going for speed here. Yeah. And as you can see, there's some blue left, but we can deal with that later. So his head is like that. And what I like to do is I like to make the brush a little bigger and then just kind of like take out the surrounding areas. So when I do cut it out, it'll be easier to get just the head or the part that I want. Okay. So now we just want to grab that. So what I'll do is I'll go here to the rectangle marquee tool and I'll highlight the area I want. Now you can do one of two things here. You could crop the whole photo by going to image, crop, or you can just copy this, and go to where you want to put it and just paste it. Paste. So use the move tool Like, oh man, it doesn't fit. Well, again, go to edit, free transform. I'll flip this horizontal, and then I'll make this look right. Okay, apply. Now, again, you can see some of the guy behind it, so we'll click the eyeball and get rid of Bill real quick, and just click the layer with the man, and we can just take his face out, accordingly. So that's that. But you see that, you see what happened? I moved it, but it moved the wrong thing that I wanted to move. That's because this layer was selected. So I'm going to click the Bill layer and move him down. Granted, this would be if I took my time and took all that blue out manually and made it look real nice. Now you can see the color of Bill's head and this man don't match. So what I'll do is I'll go again and go to adjustments. This time I'll do maybe brightness and contrast. Make it a little, see, it looks a little better. So that's that. That's pretty much the basics of the basics. What you learned is you learned how to take out the background. You also learned about tolerance. If the tolerance is too high, then it's going to take out too much. If the tolerance is too low, it's not going to take out enough. You got to find a sweet spot, and then you got to manually go in and clean it all up. Then I told you about layers, the hierarchy. Basically, whatever's on top shows in front, and whatever's on the bottom shows behind. So I move this layer on the top, and it shows this on top. If I move Bill's face on the top of the hierarchy, it shows Bill. What else? You also learned how to use the Lasso tool to take out portions of the photo you want if you have the certain layer, the right layer selected. Then paste it onto another face, and then using the smudge tool, kind of like make the edges not so rough. And then I even showed you how to change the color of the skin. That's basically it. That's the fundamentals of Facebook. I'm sorry, not Facebook, but Photoshop. There's plenty more to do with this program. However, with this video that I just showed you, it's the basics of the basics. It's a great stepping stone to begin your journey with Photoshop. Now, just play with it and mess with it on your own. You'll get better and better and better. There's plenty of other stuff I can show you, but this is it for this particular tutorial. I hope you learned a lot. If you did learn anything, you liked the video, please comment and just let me know what you think. All right. Thanks for watching.